Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Barricade, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, that's also okay. You don't have to say anything. You can just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Before we even got really started, Chris Weed said, Pat Baer, hello. Harold is here, and Aristocrat. Yes, welcome everyone. Chris is here. Yes, hello. It's Monday. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. My voice seems to be okay. At the end of last night, I guess, long stream, because we went like 3.5 hours, a little more than that. My voice was not thrilled, but I seem to be okay today, which is great. Did a bunch of errands. Had to go out into the world. I had to go to Home Depot today. Get a bunch of mulch from my dad. Had to lift some big bags of stuff, move things around. It's fine. I'm a big, strong man. I can handle it. But I'll say this. That was not something I thought I was doing on my Monday. And it was like, oh, yeah, well, you're going home. Okay, they're on sale in Home Depot. Okay, we'll go to Home Depot. Sure. You know what? Great. We went to Home Depot. No big whoop. Thank you, everybody that came out last night. Lord Crash says, hey, Pat, congrats on the lifts. Appreciate that. Thank you. Last night, thank you, everybody that joined me for the Build with Baer bonus stream. It was CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23. I got to 39% of my goal. We will be continuing to do some more donation and stuff tomorrow night. Not the same kind of show, not the same kind of stream. It'll be the normal 9 p.m. start time. I will be checking out the latest update, which is coming out tomorrow in Power Wash Simulator. So we'll check in with Power Wash Simulator, see what the new update is, and my incentive for donations to help me pay down the debts, the capital D debt. If you make a donation during tomorrow night's stream, I will wash your name into dirt. That's what I came up with, folks. I slept on it. And my shower thought today was, well, I've got the power washer. I'll put it on the red setting and then find a big clump of dirt and then write the donator's name in it. That's what I came up with. I don't know. Mr. Bob's here. Hey, Mr. Bob. Throwing in all the emotes. Yeah, I mean, we didn't hit my goal. We're not close to my goal. I need more assistance, and we'll do that tomorrow night. But that's tomorrow night where I play Power Wash Simulator and ask people for help. Tonight, we're working on the Gundam Pharact, and I'm very excited about that. I'm going to retweet my tweet and see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. We already have a great crew here for a Monday. We're already rocking it real solid, but, you know, it's good to have a lot of people. The more the merrier, as they say. It was very funny on yesterday's stream that we had some people coming in who were coming in specifically for WWE 2K23 and specifically wanting to challenge a streamer in the game. And I was like, oh, that's weird. You think I would play that game more than just set up matches? No. As we go to the overhead, also, an announcement. You get to hear this first. I'm going to tell people on Twitter this tomorrow, but you, the people that are here right now, know my shift for the Plastic Model Weekender. Of course, the whole Weekender is taking place between April 27th and the 30th, which is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday will actually be a 24-hour into Sunday. No breaks, but the other ones, there's some time off. And my shift is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Thursday the 27th because I gave my availability for the daytime and I got scheduled in the daytime. Now, a thing that's cool is, this is cool, that's the second shift of the whole thing. So, Jason, Bad Gunpla, who is kicking off the event, has given me the opportunity to not only be the first person that is not running the event to take part, but also an excuse to not have to get up before I want to to be available at the beginning, because sometimes in the early things you'll have like a lot of people from the event come in for like the first stream. I don't have to do that. So save the date, April 27th, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Will be my 2 hours during that weekend. There will be no stream that Thursday night because I don't want to do a double stream. So that's my Thursday stream next week. Next week is I don't want to call next week a mess because I planned all of this out as we start working on this foot here. Next week is, I'm sorry that you have to stay tuned to my Twitter or my Discord, but next week's going to be weird. On Monday of next week, 1 week from tonight, no regular stream. I will be playing a video game on someone else's channel from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. I can't, well, I'm not going to say what it is right now, but it's cool and you'll have a good time there. So I'm playing a video game that Monday, not streaming here. That Tuesday, I will be here, streaming my normal time, building a model kit, not playing a video game. So it's like I've swapped what I normally do, and I'm just instead going to go and hang out on another channel. So we did this part. This is all done here. So is this C16? This one over here. Got it. A video game. Never heard of it. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so I'm going to go play a video game on another channel that is more popular than this one is. We've got dedicated viewers, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to go hang out with some other folks, in part to promote the Plastic Bottle Weekender. So that Tuesday, I'll be here. That Wednesday, during the day, an afternoon stream, I will also not be on this channel, but I will be on a different channel, in part, again, to promote Plastic Bottle Weekender and also to hang out. And then that Thursday, I'll be streaming, instead of 9 p.m. Eastern, like I normally do, I'll be streaming at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then nothing on Friday, thank God. And then on Saturday, normal stream here. And then on Saturday, we'll just go and we'll go join in. And then that Sunday, I'll jump into Plastic Model Weekender for like the closing ceremonies. And throughout Plastic Model Weekender, I will probably be around. I'll be hanging out in people's streams and like when people want to have some voices in the as guests, like vocal guests. It is a week of chaos, Lord Crashington. This week is normal. This stream, tomorrow's gaming stream, Thursdays, regular build stream, Saturdays, regular build stream. As soon as we finish this kit, which will be probably during Thursday's stream, we will be starting the kits that I will be modifying during Plastic Model Weekender. I have 2 kits. I will tell you what one of them is that I will be modifying. So we're going to build on a regular stream the Farsia. The Farsia high grade. Now, not the special premium Bandai edition. This is the original Farsia kit. It is a 10 or 11-year-old model kit from Gundam Age and looks rad. It goes along with the theme, the unofficial / official theme of Plastic Model Weekender for this year, which is Magical Girl. So I went with a fun pink mobile suit that also has flowers as weapons. Flower petal like projectiles. So I am going to be building that on stream and then modifying it during my actual shift. Because last year I built a dragon and that was very fun. But this year I was like, well, that I don't want to just build part of a kit. I want to do something different. So I'll be doing something. This modification will be something that I have never attempted on stream before, which I am mildly terrified of. Harold, you have a good night. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate that. Happy to have you here. So I don't know the Monday stream that I can't talk about right now where I'm a guest. I will find out when I can promote that because I want people to know, but I'll definitely be posting on my Twitter, on my co-host, on my Mastodon, and also on my Discord. I will try to get the word out there so you know where to go. And then Plastic Model Weekender, I'll be like hosting if I can. The slash host no longer works, but I think you can do the like multiple channel hosting. I think that still works. You could there's a way to host. I think you can put in like you can't do slash host and then just like suddenly do that. But I do want to push people towards Plamo Weekender. Plastic Model Weekend because it's a great event, and we're raising funds for a charity that does not have high overhead. They do not take the money that you have generously donated and spend all of it on bullshit. All right, so where does this go? Here, like the board of directors of the Cure Alzheimer's Fund does not pay themselves out of the money raised, which rules. It's absolutely wonderful. So your money goes a long way. And there's going to be giveaways. You could win really cool shit. Got a lot of good sponsors for all that. And of course, if you donate during my shift, I will every $50 raised cumulatively. So it's not just on you. It's not that you have to give me 50 or you have to give the charity $50. It's that if you donate, if we get to $50, every time we get to $50, let's say, during my shift, I will open a random pack of cards from sports and anime and I'm trying to remember a couple random movies. I've got some good cards that I will be happy to open. And now we'll be able to see them better because my camera is flipped around from how it was last year. And so I won't have to look at them upside down. I can look at them and we can even zoom in a little bit more if we want to zoom in more, so we can really see them. I think that'll just be like such a better experience. I almost said gaming experience. That's not what I meant. Such a better experience for everybody. All right, we are completing a leg. We got one leg done here, everybody. Once I put this piece in here, leg is done. Wait, did I put this on backwards? I did. Now the leg is done. And this thing moves around a lot because it's got a sniper rifle. It has some poses so it can get really deep in there. We do have a sticker underneath a piece of clear plastic. Love that. Very fun. And of course, we'll see that in the other leg. But yeah, this leg's got some maneuverability, which is pretty neat. You can see it moves all around. Anyway, one leg is done. Now we move on to other leg. So we'll have this here. This goes in like that. I already did this ahead of time, so I don't have to worry about that. Did I do this right? Yeah. No. Yes. Yes. Okay. I did do this right. Now I need E28. We'll do that. Okay, so I talked about that. I talked about those things. I want to just briefly chat about my wrestling stream that happened last night. The CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23. Folks that donated got to suggest wrestlers or match types, and I did my best to facilitate people. We crowned a new what do we got here? Yeah, we have a new men's Money in the Bank winner in Optimus Prime. We have this is going to sound all of this is going to sound so silly. Okay, is that right or no? I put this on backwards. We got that. We've got we had a Rumble. We did a 10-person Rumble. My first time doing a Royal Rumble in that, and unfortunately Gaston won the Rumble, which sucks because we hate Gaston, but Gaston is now the men's Rumble winner, unfortunately. We have a new $1 million champion, which of course is Guitaru Man. Guitaru Man is the new $1 million champion. And we decided the NXT Women's Tag Champions. The Logan Paul of PCPW. Now it's Build with Baer Wrestling because that's BWBW, which is terrible. Hey, we dropped some frames, but it looks like we're back here. I'm very frustrated about the drop frames of it all. I did reset the router, and I was hoping that that would fix that, but apparently, no. That did not fix that. Okay, so this goes in like that. And this is going to go, it's going to go like that. That's going to go like this. After I do this part here. We're finishing a foot here. Yeah, Kairi Sane and Mystique, the tag team of former WWE wrestler Kairi Sane and Mystique of the Brotherhood of Mutants, or you know, depending on the story, also sometimes the NX woman. You know, various roles for Mystique. Mystique was in there. All right, so we got a foot done here. Oh, we're not done. One more piece of this foot to do. C19. The full card was, including a bunch of nonsense when this happened because of weirdness in the game that I don't understand why it happened. We had Brian Cage versus Christian Cage versus Adam Page in a cage match, where Adam Page won, and there were multiple T-poses, a thing that I have not seen before or since. We did not have it any other time in that night, just in that one match. It was very weird. It was our first match of the card, and we had T-poses. That was very strange. Okay, now we're going to work on the other leg. We had Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And Bianca won that in a pretty quick fashion, honestly. Good match. Okay. We had John Cena and Wonder Woman lost to Asuka in her clown makeup and Master Roshi, which was a fun mixed tag challenge. We had Silver Streak gave us the ultra hard test of match up the least problematic wrestlers in WWE. And so we did Sami Zayn versus Drew Gulak, and Drew Gulak defeated Sami Zayn in a pretty compelling short match. But yeah, good on Drew for picking up the win, the victory right there. Then I had Xavier Woods and a hot dog. I mean, if you don't know, it's okay. And they lost a tables match against Wario and Waluigi, the unbeatable hooligans tag team of Waluigi and Wario. Condition Bleen requested Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock versus Maki Ito. Maki Ito won. And everybody was very pleased with that. Way to go, Maki. Maki also won tonight on Dark Elevation, the YouTube show. We love to you love to see it. We do indeed love to see it. Guitar Man defeated Buff Santa to become the brand new $1 Million champion because, as you remember, of course, we did have a previous $1 Million champion who was Stone Toad Steve Austin. That character has not been made in WWE 2K23, so that championship was up for grabs, and we have a new champion, Guitar Man. Sorry, Buff Santa. Lord of Depak, which is apparently a reference to a Twitch streamer. It was a woman chicken, like a rooster woman, and Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil lost a women's tag match. Hello, Doodles. They lost a women's tag match to Kairi Sane and Mystique, who are now the NXT Women's Tag Champions. Which, congratulations to them. Really thought that Lady Dimitrescu would be undefeatable. Aristofan asked for a silly match, and so I made a Extreme Rules match where I had a spooky ghost take on Phoenix Wright. That Phoenix Wright is not particularly great as a creator wrestler, but is serviceable. Spooky Ghost is spooky. And Spooky Ghost won. Dustin requested Wario versus Optimus Prime, so it was Wario's second appearance for the night, and unfortunately did lose to Optimus Prime in a Money in the Bank ladder match. So Optimus Prime has a number one contender, or a shot at the title in the future, and of course, Gaston later would win up next would win a 10-person Royal Rumble that featured a bunch of wrestlers. And also, one wrestler, some AEW people, like a bunch of nonsense in that. Ant-Man is in the game. Somebody made Ant-Man, and that Ant-Man is, of course, very tiny. Yes, Doodles, in the second hour of the stream, in the anime chat, we will talk about Witch from Mercury. Because on these streams, I get into the anime I've watched since the previous model kit building stream in the second hour. We do stuff that's going on with me, stuff in the world that we want to talk about, like upcoming things in the first hour. If I'm having shower thoughts, we get those shower thoughts in the first hour, and then I do my pause for the cause, where I talk about stuff that ways that people can support. They're my ad reads. If I had sponsors, that's when I would do it. But since I don't, I'm just me. That talk about that. And in the second hour, we talk about anime, and then also start talking about like games people have been playing and all that. And we will also tonight talk about manga, because it's Manga Monday. So I will talk about a manga that I completed, a rare thing. Usually it's a manga that I've been reading that like got to like 10 or 12 chapters in, and I'm like, oh, I can talk about this now. But in this case, it was like 6 volumes, and I read the whole thing. Maybe it was 3 volumes, I can't remember. But it is a manga that is done, which is very rare. But I was loaned a collection. So we're putting a sticker on here. We're going to put a clear piece of plastic on over this sticker after. But right now we can just kind of pop it in place. Because the nice thing is, even if I don't get a good seal on this piece here, the other piece of plastic will keep it up. So to go over the rest of that card, last night's wrestling thing, CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K23, we had Eddie Kingston lose to Claudio Castagnoli in a Hell in a Cell match where thankfully they broke out of the cell and then climbed on the cell and then eventually broke through the roof of the cell into the ring, because I did not think that match was ever going to end, and then eventually it did end just pretty shortly after Eddie fell through the top of the cage. And then our final match, which was a dealer's choice, I had Wheeler Yuta wrestle Pepsi Man in a backyard brawl. Or backstage brawl, I should say, not backyard. Backstage brawl, and Wheeler Yuta won. Wheeler Yuta took down the status bar of Pepsi Man. That was a fun little stream. I appreciate everybody who showed up for it. Let's see. Okay, now we just need we need to put it all together here, but we got to do the middle portion of our leg, and then our legs will be done. The Pharact. So let's do this part here. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, this is an Amazon Basics mouse. This mouse that I use because I like having a wireless mouse. It doesn't have to do anything. I have a gaming mouse. I have a mouse that is like balanced, that is great for like FPS games or something like that. But for my everyday use, I use this wireless mouse because especially in the workspace I have here, it's far away from my computer, so I don't have to have this cable in my way, and I can just kind of use it and move it around without it like really bothering me. That mouse, the one of the buttons there was getting kind of weird. It was misclicking. Like I would click on it, and it was like raised a little bit, so I had to like pull off the rubber here, and then pull off another layer of sticky plastic, and then that's where the screws are. And there was just a bunch of fucking dust and dirt in there from like a year's use of just like a bunch of bullshit in there. It was very easy to blow that stuff out. And now the wheel spins a little better. and also it doesn't misclick. Uh, I probably could have just sprayed it. Like there was enough dust in there that I'm glad I took it apart. Like I probably could have, like I should, like every month or so go in there and just give it a better cleaning. Just kind of move some stuff around. But yeah, your dust gets in the mouse easily. Yeah. So, but this isn't an expensive mouse. It's just nice that it did not take much effort to open it up. Like I don't think I resealed it perfectly in the bottom there with that, because they don't seem to want you to actually do maintenance on it. Also, if you ever a click wheel that uh, makes a noise, you can always pop it open and then like run a little bit of a Q-tip with like a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it, and that will kind of clean everything up. I did not do that in this case because it did not need it, but I have done that to mice in the past, and it's been helpful. I'll say that. Get a little more life out of this very inexpensive Amazon Basics mouse that works well. And like I said, I don't have to have another cable like on this build table, which is I obviously use for model kit building and everything else. So that has been pretty helpful. All right, let's get that in. And then we just need to do the other slidey bit here, which is an A piece. Leg came together pretty easy. Obviously, we did some of this leg before. But, all right, and then we just have to hit this with some gray. Let's see. Are there other things we want to chat about tonight? Yeah, I did some. Went to Home Depot and got a bunch of bags of bullshit to set up because my dad's working on the yard. Hey, I'll have some photos probably on Twitter. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I haven't talked about this on stream. I've been working on tomato plants again. I did that last year in the backyard. We got some tomatoes growing. My folks really like to have tomatoes in their salad. I'm not the biggest fan myself, but homegrown tomatoes, and it's something that like I've talked about this. I think here. I don't remember if I have, but I'll give you the easy version. I don't need to have a green thumb. I haven't like desired a green thumb before, but I have one, and I think that's like kind of fun that I'm fairly good at growing plants and vegetables and stuff. It's not something I take much enjoyment out of. Like I don't like yard work is a chore that means I have to take a nap later because of my allergies. Any upside down tomatoes? No, not that I've seen, Lord Cressy said. It's still early, but I'll take a photo or two. I don't know, but like the idea that my folks are going to eat a salad and some of those tomatoes were grown in the backyard, that's fun. I can like that. I don't want like a vegetable garden or anything like that. I've never wanted anything quite like that. But the idea that is like, oh, you go and you do some work and then you have something to show for it is fun. I can appreciate it even if it's not my jam. It's not something that like I'm super into. But I'm doing it. It's happening. There's tomatoes back there. It's happening. We'll see some results shortly. It won't take long, and there'll be some growth. All right, so we need this here. Got to put this on here. We're working on the waist. All right, let's go and look. Let's see if there's any gaming news on a Monday. We got any gaming news. We're going to go over to Kotaku. Looks like Gary Bowser is out of jail. Of course, Gary Bowser is the part of the hacking team Zecture, who was sentenced to 40 months in prison. But apparently he is released and is going on his way back to Canada. Let's see. Let's see. And of course, he still owes Nintendo a lot of money, and it is in the millions of dollars. And he will certainly, most likely, never be able to repay that. Uh, it definitely seemed to be a make an example out of you style sentence, which I'm not in favor of, certainly. Uh, and the idea that, like, he might have made, his group might have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, but also, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's not cool, but still, seems pretty fucked. I mean, like, look, I'm not here to defend a multinational corporation about like who needs what money, but I also like the people that get hurt the most by these kinds of operations are small, low level employees, and they do suffer for stuff like that. So, like, and legit small business owners that are trying to make money by selling expensive, like low return on investment games and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, uh, he claims that he made about $320,000 over 7 years, and we know because partly because his name is Bowser in it, but also Max Laron apparently has been able to avoid deportation. Who was supposedly the ringleader of the outfit, has thus far been able to avoid deportation. I don't know if France is protecting him or what. I don't know what's going on there. But it is, yeah, it is one of those things where you're like, well, yeah, like no, obviously that money like is made through illegal means, and also does take away from people who are running legit businesses, trying to work in the system, and is a shame. Um, but probably the whole thing, uh, yeah, the whole thing is like kind of kind of rough, and also yeah, he got convicted. He went to jail, but then he will be financially penalized the rest of his life, and that's like I don't love that part of it. Um, certainly don't. Let's see. Other things we could talk about in here. Um, oh yeah, Joseph Staten, who was the former head of creative at Halo Infinite, is his he said what his next job is. He left Halo Infinite after being part of that team for quite some time for the Halo group, and he is heading up a AAA quote unquote AAA studio, working on Netflix stuff. Um, that's fun. He's joined Netflix Games as creative director uh, of an original IP, and his words are AAA. And a bunch of people just report that as if that's a thing that means something. And it's just like, okay, you're making a AAA game. You're not making an indie game. You also could be making an indie game. I don't know. Like I mean, I guess you say the scope of it is that it'll be a big old new IP. I think the more interesting thing is that it's just like, okay, yeah, that's like a Destiny guy and a Halo guy who's just like going to Netflix. All right. I mean, the guy worked on Myth 2. He's been around for a long time. A long time veteran of the games. He's making a AAA wrestling game for Netflix. Yeah, sure. Sure, he is, Lord Crashington. Sure. It'll still come out before the AEW game. Oh man, some people really thought that the Evil Uno of AEW, who has been a guy that has promoted their upcoming video game quite some time. He's been an ambassador for the game because he's a gamer and various other, obviously being a professional wrestler and all that. He announced that he like teased he was making an announcement today, and a lot of people thought that it was going to be the release date for Fight Forever, as if they would just let him on his Twitter announce it. It's like, no, that's not. He's not even the fucking video game. Like, no, it's not that. It's not that. He's doing some project, a streaming project about wrestling. So yeah, it's not that. But I thought that was very funny that that a lot of people just like some amount of people just assumed, oh, it's gotta be about the video game. It's like, no, it could be like I'm vlogging again. I'm vlogging it, I should say. Like, it's not gonna be. It doesn't have to be that. Just because you want to know more about this video game. I thought that was funny. All right, other news stuff here as we start working on the backpack. Get into some backpack building. Sega bought a developer. Sega, of course, is a publisher with a multitude of developers working under them, making their games, for other systems. We are all aware of that. But yeah, they want to get into mobile games more, the mobile game market more than they have previously. So they bought Rovio, the people that make Angry Birds. Remember Angry Birds? Well, now Sega owns it. The publisher won't announce the release date. Yes. Angry Birds. God. Come on. Come on. I'm just like a little dumbfounded by this, friends. Just a little dumbfounded by this. What? $775 million for the company that made Angry Birds. Angry Santa. Now they can put Angry Birds back up for sale. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Video game stuff, all this. I mean, like, it's also the 10th anniversary of Sega buying Atlas, which was a good idea at the time. At the time, people were like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense for everybody. That's good. That's good for Atlas, and probably smart for Sega." Like, that certainly has been good, and it's been 10 years, so you can look at it and go like, yeah, all right. Now they can put Angry Birds back up for sale. Yeah, probably not. Also, this is funny to think about. The people that make Persona and a variety of other things, Atlas, they were purchased in 2013 for $140 million. That's like a seventh of the amount of money they spent on Angry Birds, which is, of course, just one video game. Gaming is weird. Every part of the video game industry is weird and strange. Yeah, who knows what they'll do. Obviously, it's just their way to get into the mobile space, but it's also like, but they only made one. They made variations of one game, but they've only made one game, and I guess that's enough for Sega. I don't know. I think that to me seems silly. That seems like a silly purchase. All right, we're working on the backpack here. Let's see. Bunch of other things were purchased here and there and all that. Okay, so we need B21 and B21. We could do two of these at the same time. There's symmetrical. Necromancers are getting nerfed in Diablo 4. If you played the Necromancer class during the beta and you were like, this is very powerful and fucking rules, well, they know that and they're going to make it less overpowered, I guess. Richard says, if I'm a betting man, I'd say Angry Birds movie alone grossed more than the entire Persona franchise combined. I mean, possible, Rijizzle, totally possible that Angry Birds movie, but also like that doesn't go. Sega makes some money off of that, but like, I bet that company didn't sign a good deal on the Angry Birds movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the movie may have made a lot of money, but like, did the company, Rovio, did they make a good deal? Like, I'm not convinced they made a good deal in that process. You know what I mean? But yes, some classes are getting some nerfs. We got Necromancer, Sorcerers. Apparently, those were the most popular classes during beta. Yeah, the Dead Skeleton revival is probably going to be probably less. Players felt they spent a lot of time backtracking, so that yeah, get rid of that. That would be good. Chance of an event spawning inside a dungeon is increased to 60%, which feels like a lot. From 10% to 60%. So it sounds like there are going to be a lot more fucking events in there, which I'm not opposed to. But I was just like, that seems like a lot. Okay, that just seems like a whole lot. And they're working on some stuff to like help out with multiplayer, or like having multiple people. And it looks like a lot of classes are getting some changes. Rogue is getting some bonuses, having some bonuses increase, which is great because I like Rogue, but I'm never inclined to play Rogue in Diablo. I mean, I'm a monk guy, but I like Necromancer. I like Barbarian. I like, yes, Rouge the Bat. But Rogue the Bat. Yes. I don't know. I'm still hyped for that game. I thought the beta was fun. I enjoyed it. So I would certainly take a look at that again. But I don't know. I have not found I'll tell you this, video game wise, I'll just say this here because I won't say it in the second hour. I have not found a good new deck in Hearthstone. I think people are really hyped on this expansion, but I have not found a deck that I'm super into. I am certainly on the lookout for one, and I do hope to find one. But right now, I have not been able to find a new deck. I'm playing my old decks. I don't know. I got a good new Death Rattle to go in my. I got a couple new cards from my Death Rattle Rogue, my big Death Rattle deck. That's like pretty good. But that's about it. And I put one new card in my Shaman deck, my big Shaman deck, and that's fine. But there weren't like a lot of new cards to make it have sense, or to make it make sense. Other news stuff. Sorry, I don't have like a lot to talk about today. It was the fact that we had a stream last night. That definitely kind of like threw me off. I'm a little off my game, and then also I did more work today than I was expecting. But second hour when I can talk about some manga and some anime, I'll have more to say. I think I'll be a little bit more awake in the second hour than I am right now in this very moment. All right, so now we need D9 and D9 on this side. Let's see. Somebody on Twitter today was talking about how they really dislike lore videos because lore takes a lot of the fun out of it when you're and the example they gave was just like, if you listen to how one person describes traveling, it's like, oh, this is obviously like a different Earth than our regular Earth because the person says this about it, and clearly that means that like travel wouldn't work because they're like decided that they have to figure out a unified theory that puts all the Mad Max movies in the same universe. And it's like, I mean, you can think about themes, you can think about you can think about like what are they trying to say here, and what is this an analog to and a metaphor for, and all that. Like, feel free to do that. Like, please think about the media that you consume. But my point for that has always been lore videos fall apart once you ask the question, what if they were lying? Or what if they were wrong? Like, so many fan theories are like, well, this person says this, and that can only mean this. And you're like, well, why are you taking every single character in a piece of fiction at face value? Like, what's lore and what's just like somebody's opinion? Beyond the fact that like it's written by humans and therefore is like, you know, because people are like, oh well, you know, in Hunter x Hunter, the narrator talks about this scene that's coming up where Gon is going to face this other person, and like Gon, who is powerless right now, will have to have their powers in the future, and you're like, so you're telling me the one guy that created all of Hunter x Hunter couldn't have been wrong? Or, well, you know, in this one season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's very clear that he's rescued in the past by himself in the future, and we don't see that scene. And it's like, yeah, the JoJo also has a character who is just an insert of the mangaka, and who is just a cool manga artist, like, and writer. Like, it's just made up shit that somebody made. It's good. This is not me saying like, oh, JoJo's is shit because like, and you shouldn't expect there to be a payoff for this one scene. But it's just like, you decided, you, the audience, the viewer, decided that the guy with the cool hair that saves Josuke is therefore Josuke in the future traveling back in time. And it's like, or yeah, what if it's just a fucking dude with cool hair and that left an impression on him? Like, it doesn't have to be. It could be time travel, or also it could happen and we don't need to see it. That's the other thing. I think people look at plot as like separate from story in a weird way, where they're like, well, I guess this happened, but we didn't see it happen. It's like, would it have been entertaining? A big point that people will make when they compare web novels with a manga or an anime is there are YouTubers that are dedicated to this, and it always kind of irks me the language they use, where they say what the anime got wrong, what the anime skipped. I'm like, okay, sure. Oh, what they got wrong. And it's like, oh, are you saying that the pages and pages of narration of a character's innermost thoughts and long descriptive text about how the world works that is just to fill a page quota? Sometimes it's beautiful, but other times it's not at all. Are you saying like that stuff is like, because it's not in the anime, it's somehow lesser? It's just like, yeah, that shit you didn't read again. You read it once as you were enjoying your visual novel, or not your web novel, and then you didn't read it again because it was long and not what you were looking for. It's just like, I hate, it's a pet peeve of mine. What the anime got wrong. It didn't get it wrong. They chose to tell the story in a different way. It's like, that shit was boring. I don't know what to tell you. Like, sometimes, hey, I'm not saying they don't make changes that you're like, oh, well, that's weird. Like, Kuma Baer, the second season Punch, is frustrating to me because there's like a whole plot line in the manga that's not in the anime. They cut it because it's probably a little too grimdark. And because of that, when those characters come back later, I don't know what's going to happen. We haven't gotten to the part where those characters are going to come back. Is that frustrating? A little bit. If I had not read the manga, would I have noticed? Absolutely not. There's no way I would have noticed that scene that just got skipped, because it got skipped. It didn't need to be there. They could go back to it. They could do a flashback. They could have these characters who would be, at this point, new for the anime come in and then be like, oh, you helped us at this one time. And then we could just see it, and it would be fine. But, like, yeah, it's a little weird. Same thing with By the Grace of the Gods. By the Grace of the Gods has, they have a bunch of adventurers that show up, and in the manga, there are more of them. And they, got rid of a few because it's a lot of characters. And I don't think any of those characters really had a lot going on for them, so it's, totally okay, in my opinion, to be like, yeah, they got cut. It's fine. Maybe you love that character, but, read the manga then. The manga doesn't disappear because the anime is out. That's true with any, folks. That's definitely true with any sort of adaptation. Is one would hope, anyway, that it does not replace the original. I'm not saying that we can't be annoyed with how it turned out, or we can't want more from our media, none of that. But the animated Mario movie does not mean that any other piece of fiction that involves Mario no longer exists. It's like, oh, there's the Mario movie, and there's the Mario live action movie, and that shit's still there. That shit's still a thing. For better or worse. The quote going around right now, a fun quote, to talk about the Mario movie for a second. There is a fun quote going around because somebody asked John Leguizamo if he was going to see the new Mario movie, and he was like, no. And the answer as to why is because he's like, I'm really busy right now, and I don't see a lot of movies. It's like, okay, sure. Sure, John Leguizamo. That sounds great. That sounds totally okay, John Leguizamo. But, of course, the quote going around is John Leguizamo won't see the new Mario movie. It's just like, okay. Also, he doesn't have to. It's fine. You don't have to. He did one movie a bunch of years ago. It's totally okay. I will say, it is weird. I think, I forget who said this, so my apologies. It might have been Mike Drucker, said that they wish that the world was reversed, and that when he was a child, he could have watched a really detailed, full of, beautifully animated, full of references Mario movie, and then as an adult watch the really weird, bizarre, nightmare-fueled live-action nonsense thing. And instead it got reversed, in a different reality, this would be reversed. And I like that. I've loved that idea of yeah, I think now I myself, I'm just I don't know, a cute Mario movie sounds fun. Does not have to be good, is fine. Oh, voice actors I like, Mario movie, that sounds great. But in the future, I probably would have wanted a really weird, I don't know, let's just try something Mario movie, and we already had that, but it was years ago. Waiting on the onion spin of that stating Bob Hoskins won't watch the Mario movie. Yes, Dirty. Yes, Bob Hopkins will never see the new Mario movie. Can you believe it? Rest in peace, of course. But yes, he will never see it. Bob Hoskins was quoted for many things about the Mario movie. The best quote for Bob Hoskins about the Mario movie was, of course, that he was telling one of his children about the job that he has just accepted, and up until that point, he had agreed to be in the movie. He had read the script and said yes, and he had signed off to be in the movie. And it wasn't until after that that his child informed him that Mario is a video game character. He did not know that he was in a movie based on a video game when he agreed to do it. And that is very fucking telling of the whole thing. It's a very good quote. I don't know if he was drunk during it. I don't remember reading about that. I would have said that Dennis Hopper would have been a little toasty for that production. Also, Luigi, played by John Leguizamo, who was asked at some point in his career, "Hey, is it weird that do you feel weird playing someone who is seemingly canonically Italian when you are not?" To which John Leguizamo said, "They had a guy play Scarface. He wasn't, like, they had an Italian guy play Scarface. So what do you want?" Like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, they did. They did, he wasn't wrong at that point. That is a casting choice that was made. Like, yeah. Also, John Leguizamo is not playing an Italian plumber. He is playing a Brooklyn guy named Luigi. And you can infer that Luigi is, quote unquote, supposed to be Italian. But I don't think that John Leguizamo is playing an Italian plumber from Brooklyn. He's playing a Brooklyn plumber. That's just my opinion on it. John advocates for more Latinos in movies all the time. Indeed. An adoptive brother of Mario. Yeah, I mean, like, look. Luigi Mario. Who knows? The world is big and vast and weird and wonderful. So who knows where anyone is from and how they fucking got there. I don't know. I can't tell you. All right, so this is going to go... We're building two of these here. These shoulders are goddamn detailed. Let me tell you what. It's going to go on here. Okay, so let's go like that. It's going to go like that. All right, so these are going to go in like this. That's the rockets. These aren't even the shoulders yet. Okay. Oh, the shoulders are parts of the backpack. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's what it is. The backpack is also folds over onto the shoulders. That makes some sense because we don't have any shoulders on this kit. So then we have to build that. We're going to do that one at a time. And yeah. Let's see. This is E and this is D. So we're going to try to remember that this is D and this is E. If you can remember that. Yes, and Lord Crashington, totally true. Not all Latinos have different have quote unquote Latin names. Certainly. You're not wrong at all. Also Bob Hoskins, also not Italian. Not even American. Can't believe we had a Mario who wasn't from America. What are we even doing? Can you fucking believe that shit? Mario. British dude, come on. What are we even doing here? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that guy is. I do know that he sucks, but I don't know who that guy, that particular guy is. But I do know that he is bad news. That noise of. Next, you'll tell me Guile from Street Fighter wasn't American. Oof. Man, they're gonna try and make a new live action Street Fighter movie, and that's. I think we didn't talk enough about that when that announced, because it's just a tweet. It's just Capcom being like, "Hey, we're gonna make a live action Street Fighter movie at some point. We're partnering with Legendary Pictures to do that," and you're like, I mean, you could. You have every right to do that. Do I think you should do that? No, but you can. No one's going to stop you, I guess. I mean, I guess no one's stopping you. I don't necessarily think that's what Street Fighter needs is another live action. I would say animated would be the way to go. Of course, we did have a new Mortal Kombat movie that was I watched it, and I would describe that movie as fine. It was weird to introduce a new character in a world, in a franchise that has so many goddamn characters. I did find that odd to just invent a total new one. I thought that movie was enjoyable to watch. I would not say that that movie was good. The 90s movie is fun for all of its weirdness. Totally. I mean, there's some people like working hard in that movie, and there's a lot of nonsense and a lot of silliness in that. And some scenery chewing, and some people having a very good time, and some people not having a very good time and really hating their time there. It's just like a lot of different vibes in that movie. That movie is all weird vibes. It's all weird choices, and I can appreciate the Street Fighter movie. I don't know if they need to make a new Street Fighter movie, because I bet it will be serious and not fun. And I don't think that should be the case. I think it should be fun and silly. It should be an action romp and not take itself very seriously. If the actors want to take it seriously, they can. But I think it should have. As long as. I mean, Lord Craftsman, it would be hard to be worse than the Chun-Li movie. It would be very difficult. I think they would have to be actively trying to sabotage to get worse than that. Because that is not fun. There's nothing fun about that movie. It's just sad because you're like, oh, Chris Klein, you were going to be somebody. You were like a good actor like 5 years ago. What happened to you? It's probably more like 10 at that point. Probably more 10. But like, what the fuck happened to you, man? You had promise and now you're this. Yikes. That's always been my feeling. All right. We're going to take a pause for the cause. Afterwards, we'll get into some anime and some manga talk. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to say here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. But if you would like to do any of this stuff, that would be great. And I would appreciate it. It would be lovely if you wanted to help me out. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. I'm going to move my chair. Just move my chair in a little bit. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support me financially through your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime link with your Twitch, you can use that. Or through just becoming a subscriber, doing it that way. That's another way to support me. It's the easiest way because you're already here in Twitch. We've had 0 gift subs this month, which is okay because we're still over the 40 minimum where I always want to be at 40 subscribers. We're still above that. So that's okay that we haven't had any gifted subs. We've also had some bits from Harold, which is always nice. Cheer is always appreciated around here. Now, there are other ways to support what I do here. You could go to my Patreon, patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. If you would like to join that, you're more than welcome to do that. You can take a look. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. There's a way to become a member over there. Obviously, subscribing is free, but if you would like to spend $2 a month and help me out, you could do that. Also, those are monthly ways to support me, but if you wanted to do a one-time, you could go to my PayPal or my Coffee or my Stream Elements, and everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so, please watch my videos. That does help me out. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that money. The next 2 kits that I will be building that will both be modified, that'll be modified on the Plastic Model Weekender. Both of those kits I purchased with the funds from you over many, many months and years of me doing this. And I really appreciate that. Now, the kit that I'm building right now was purchased by someone who would request to remain anonymous for my Amazon wish list. I about to say anime wish list. That's a different thing totally. My Amazon wish list. You can go over my Amazon wish list and see if there's something there you'd like me to build. It'll jump the queue just like this did. I've got a bunch of things on there. Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free shipping, kits with not free shipping, all kinds of different things that I would be happy to build on stream. Sometimes they drop in price and they become a little bit cheaper. Sometimes they are unbelievably expensive, and it fucking sucks that I or someone else someday might spend $40 on the Soletta Figurize kit, which I will at some point probably pick up. Hopefully, I'll get it on sale and it won't be $40 fucking dollars. But someday I'm going to build that kit. A bunch of different things on there. So you can buy something, and again, it'll jump the queue. I won't start building the thing that you purchased until after I'm done with the kits for Plastic Model Weekender. But after that, it'll be fair game. And there's some gear at the bottom because it's always nice to have gear. I'm trying to get through this all quickly so we can get into the anime and the manga talk, which is coming up soon, and back to working on this kit and build the backpack and the gun, and like maybe I don't think we might finish this kit. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what else I gotta do. I have a throne wish list in case you want to support me financially but don't feel like going through Amazon in any way, shape, or form. You can always buy something on Throne. There's a lot of gift cards there that I bet appreciate. And then, of course, there's USA Gundam Store. You could go to USA Gundam Store. You could buy a gift card there. They'll send it to you in an email. It's not a physical card. You get an email. And then you can send me a DM on Twitter or whisper here on Twitch with that gift card code. And I will, of course, use that to buy something from Amazon because that would be good. Or not Amazon, from USA Gundam Store, I should say. And I'll probably be a Witch from Mercury kit because that's the new hotness and that's something that I want to build. Let's see. If you want to support me and not spend a dime, you can just join my Discord. You can get, I post build photos. People post stuff they're working on. It's a nice little time over on the Discord. Couple video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club is an ongoing video series where every other Monday I put up a new video talking about the world of anime and something I want to talk about. The latest Pat Baer's Anime Club is about trying to figure out, like, what does it mean to be an anime? Like, what is an anime? Is there a difference between, like, lowercase a and capital anime? Yet, like, yeah, it's just the Japanese word for animation. So, like, every animated thing is anime. But, like, is it weird that we're like, well, where was it made though? What studio made it? Who purchased it? That shit's a little weird. So I kind of get into that, trying to figure that out and using a spreadsheet. And then Baerly Rehearsed is a ongoing video series where I promise that I have done some amount of rehearsal. And I have a new one coming out on Wednesday. But if you didn't see the previous Wednesday's video, check on that. It's called The Butts. This one is about somebody who misunderstood a certain phrase and said it wrong for many years. And in this video, that character is corrected and has a bit of a time realizing that they've been saying a phrase wrong and no one has mentioned it. It's pretty good. I'm going to take a drink of water here. We're going to transition back to the overhead. We're going to keep working on this kit. And then we're going to get some anime talk. And after that anime talk, we'll get into some light manga talk. We'll start with the anime. Just 2 shows talking about here. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. But I'm going to drink a little water, and then we'll go to the overhead right now. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk anime. We got 2 shows to talk about here. I about halfway through the childish my first friend. I was like, I think I'm okay on this one. It's a good vibe. I'll probably go back to it, but I didn't finish the third episode, so we're not going to cover that here. Let's talk about Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witcher Mercury Season 2. Yes, if you look places, it says episode 14, but also everywhere says everywhere except for Crunchyroll says Season 2. We're going by like Gundam.info says Season 2, so we say Season 2, even if Crunchyroll is like, it's just episode 14. You're like, yeah. Also, some series do just keep the numbers going up, but to delineate between seasons. Anyway, that's just me stalling for a second, because, like, holy fucking shit. The thing that some people have been thinking this whole time is true. That Gundam's fucking alive, everybody. That Gundam is goddamn alive. There's other things that happen in this episode. We'll talk about them. There's some fighting. There's some, like, there's a death. One could argue manslaughter or murder, depending, or assisted suicide, I guess. Hey, the lady in the mask is definitely not cool. The character in a mask in a Gundam series, there's only been one masked. I don't know if that's true. I would say there's only been one time so far in the history of Gundam where there was a masked figure who turned out to not actually be a bad person, and that's in G Gundam. I would say in any other Gundam series, if you got a masked figure, shit's fucked. Lastbrook, I mean, like, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't remember a masked character in any Gundam series that was cool. Regizzle, I mean, like, Char is somewhat complicated, but also, like, not. Char doesn't want to be the hero. Revenge can be cool, but revenge isn't necessarily awesome. That's probably a bigger conversation than we're gonna have in here. But anyway, hey, yeah, that Gundam's alive. Ariel has a fucking soul of a child in it. And it's bad news. So, Doodles, this has come up in conversation. I want to say this right now, right? So, expectations happen, right? I have seen numerous people in many places, they were like, oh, this is going to be like Utena, because the head writer worked on an adaptation, the manga adaptation or the light novel adaptation of Utena. So this is going to be like Utena, right? Because it's in school. And then, of course, a bunch of people were like, it's set in a school, so this is just going to be a slice of life. This is going to be like the kiddie Gundam stuff that's out there. It's not going to have any bite to it. And just like, people have expectations, and then we'll see, right? There are a lot of expectations, and I think for good reason, to look at the beats of The Tempest. Our characters, some characters named after it. There are some plot elements that certainly are in there. I think it's totally reasonable to look at it and make a compare and contrast with The Tempest. And look at it and go, okay, yeah, you can see that. You can see those things. You can see those connections. There's probably some inspiration there. Please, 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 I beg of you as a collective, not you as individuals, I beg of you as a collective to please, please, please do not be disappointed if they don't do certain things that are in The Tempest, because you have made the decision that, well, it's clearly referencing this, this, and this, so we know that these things are going to happen, and this will happen, and that'll happen. And it's like, well, you don't know that, because it's not a retelling of The Tempest. It might be. Hell, fuck if I know. this could be, Witcher Mercury could be a futuristic retelling of the Tempest. But I think, in my opinion, an easier thing to go in is to be surprised if more of those things happen. But to just take into consideration, this is taking elements from the Tempest and applying it to the world of Gundam, the larger concepts that can be contained in Gundam, that it is a reference point and like a starting off point, but it is not a modern reinterpretation of it. Because then that's the easiest way to find like a weird sort of yeah. No, I mean seriously, yeah. Doodles, yeah. I mean, like this is not me saying like anybody in here is like guilty or whatever, but I think we as a community, the anime watchers and all that, should be wary of being disappointed in what didn't happen, like the events that happen in it, right? These scenes as a collective, as a storytelling medium, as a story, as a moment-to-moment thing, like, man, I would have liked to had more catharsis for the end of episode 12, and it feels like we just don't get that, and maybe we will get that in flashbacks or other moments, or eventually it will come, but right now we're not getting that. Like, I think that's totally reasonable, but if you're like, but if you, as a collective, as an entity, as a person out there, are like, I'm disappointed because the thing I thought was going to happen didn't happen. The thing I thought I was so smart about predicting, of course you don't say that, but like they didn't do this, this, and this, therefore it's bad. And I'm like, I don't like judge it on its. I say don't judge a thing on what in your mind would have been awesome, but what they did or didn't do that you liked or you didn't like, instead of conflating this weird thing where it's like, well, everybody knows that this would have been the better outcome. And it's like, well, we all convinced ourselves that this was that these are references to this. And it's just like, okay, who's we, you know? That's always been my thing on that. I don't know. I might be a little rambly on that. I might be off base on that. But that's always just kind of been my interpretation, is like, I mean, just like, everyone's so fucking sure of themselves. The same way, everyone saw the first episode and they were like, this is going to be Utena. This is going to be a Utena with Gundams. Like, this rules. This is going to be an Utena with fucking Gundams. And it's not Utena with Gundams. It's a Gundam series set with a school setting, not dissimilar to parts of Gundam Wing, which were also not a school-like slice of life. It's just that this Gundam series took a little longer than others to get devastatingly fucking brutal and sad. This is just like a slower pace than some of the other Gundam series. Of course, obviously the prologue has its own levels of devastation as well. Like when people ship characters and get mad when it doesn't happen. Yeah, Lord Crashington. It's like, you can get mad because you want more from your characters, but it's not a failing on the people that made the thing if they didn't accept your headcanon. Because who are you? That's what fan fiction is for. Like, yeah, I want the characters that I think are great to have cool shit to do. But I was like, I don't know about that. Like, you know, like that's not on the people that make a thing. Like, they're not responsible for my weird offshoot of fandom. I saw some other potential influences on Friday. I made a joke on a forum that Quiet Zero program was breathing through your skin. Next thing I know, they've grabbed part of the plot of Sons of Patriots. I mean, yeah. I mean, look. If you don't think that Kojima is borrowing, stealing, or being influenced by other classic literature and anime and manga, like, come on. So, like, yeah, one could say that the Quiet, like, most likely a lot of these systems are, like, interwoven with other Gundam shows and various other pieces of media. And, of course, if you look hard enough, you can 100% link everything back to everything else. Because I know some people were just like, oh, so this Gundam series is just Evangelion? And it's like, I mean, reductionist wise, yeah. You could also say that it's the Bionic Commando remake. But also, the soul of a human person trapped inside of a machine or a tool, and living on through that is also fucking lots of shit. That's lots of cyberpunk. That's lots of fantasy. I mean, dudes stuck in swords is classic Japanese folklore. That shit ain't new. To live on as a mode of revenge, most certainly. Yeah, Doodles, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if Sophie died. There was a fight. And yeah, basically at one point, Suletta is not in charge of the Ariel anymore. And Sophie gets, shut down, and she's going past her limits, thus killing herself in the process. Like, she goes beyond in an effort to refusing to admit defeat. But also, yeah, I mean, like, there's a terrorist attack. The episode ends with Earth House being detained, members of Earth House, because of shenanigans and all that. And they someone gets kidnapped. And yeah, Eric, Suletta's sister, her mind was transferred into a Gundam. And that's fucked. It was a very good episode. Yeah. Gundams have always imprinted on the pilot. Yeah, I mean, like, depending on the series, right? Like, there are plenty of Gundams that have a soul. You can also say that about Zoids, because the Liger Zero has a soul too. Why? We still don't fucking know. But the Zoids had soul. Some of the Zoids had souls. But yeah, I think it is totally reasonable to look at it and just go like, wait, what? What's happening there? What's going on? Like, okay, so this is going to be, what shoulder is this? Which shoulder? Which one is this? Give me a letter for this one. This does not have a letter. Okay. We'll figure out where this goes at some point. I assume that's this one. Okay, so we did this. We're gonna do the other one here, and I think this must go along with F then, because that's F and D. So then that's gonna go. Those shoulders are gonna go on there. But yeah, this doesn't like proper. In my opinion, this does not properly show me where this is going to connect. But I guess we'll probably figure it out. Anyway, we'll put this over here. We'll figure it out later. We still have more components to put together from this piece here. So we'll do that. My assumption is this is all going to come together in a way that I'm like, oh, all right, this makes sense. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I get this now. I understand what's going on. I now know what I'm supposed to do here. Yeah, I like this Gundam too. This instructions kind of threw me for a loop there for a second, but now I'm starting to understand. And of course, when we do the second half of this, these shoulders, it will make a lot more sense because I have gone through the process of learning this side. But yeah, no, this is a good looking kit. We still have the weapon and the rest of the backpack to put together here. So we'll finish this kit up. I'm assuming we'll finish it up during Thursday's stream because we're going to keep working here, but we're not going to wrap this up on this. So we need 18. Great. Yesterday's episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Witcher Mercury was wild. Um, hey, Prospera, yeah, probably not gonna be like I don't know. Some people were like, it leaves me with hope that things are gonna work out eventually, and I was like, I don't think they will though. I mean, it might work out, but the my belief that this is going to end awful is, I think, pretty like realistic to think that like shit's not going to end like happily here. Like this ain't going to work out. Great. There will be some characters who live. I just don't know if they will be people who are in a happy relationship with one another. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else for this episode. If the Gundam already had a soul inside, it means it can't take yours. Yes, I guess so. I mean, maybe you swap. Hey, here's a thought. Maybe Suletta sacrifices her own soul to give her sister her body. I don't fucking know. I don't think that actually happens, but who knows? It could. That could be where we're heading. Suletta becomes one with the Gundam that she definitely loves, most likely because she's unaware of what's going on in it. Somebody brought up the point: is Suletta gonna freak out about this or not, or just accept it because she's so brainwashed? It's like, I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, shit's pretty fucked. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's an imprint. We don't know how far this thing goes. Doodles. I don't know. And then in a far less disturbing series that is pretty okay. This is a very silly thing. The Aristocrat's Otherworld adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far, is this guy Kine. I've been saying Kane, but it's Kine. I should say it. I've read the manga and just never assumed that it was Kine. I just always assumed that it was Kane. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid gets limited edition whiskey blend. Sure. You know what? Good for them. Enjoy that whiskey blend. That sounds fine. It's like, you know what? Great. I hope everybody who has it really likes it, and they enjoy it very much. Sure. All right, so that goes like that, or is this one supposed to be on there? Let's find out. Yeah. All right. Great. So we got one of these done. And then this goes in like this. Great. We got one half of our backpack / shoulders done. There must be a Gundam thing. Look at John. There totally could be. Also, hi, I'm John. So Aristocrats, Otherworldly Adventure. Kane in the previous episodes, he was born and young, and then he was 8 in the last episode. He's 10 now. Yes, Otaku Elf. We talked about the most recent episode on Saturday. That is a lovely little series. That is a fun, good time. Aristocrats Otherworldly Adventure. Kane is 11 or 10 and now a seasoned adventurer. Of course, in the second episode, he was learning the ropes of being an adventurer and excelling at it because he has all these blessings from gods, and it's very cool. And he's also a noble. So he's sent to the royal capital to debut. It's got to have his big debut, even if he is like the youngest and not really needed in the household. On the way, he kills some monsters and saves Silk, and who is a duke's daughter, and the royal princess Telestia. And he's just on the way to the capital, manages to save a princess. Classic anime, overpowered main character, isekai dude, reincarnation isekai dude stuff. Saves a princess and a So yeah, saves the princess, also saves the Duke's daughter, and they of course develop a crush on him. Uh, and they're like, "Hey, come with us," which he's like, "Because you're going to the capital." It's like, okay. Um, let's see. They they're just like, you have to spend the night, and like, because they're interested in him. So he's just like, fine. Um, he doesn't really sleep all week because he is in the company of two young ladies, and he is somewhat uncomfortable with this. Uh, but doing his best. Let's see what else happens in this episode. Um, when he gets to the capital, Kane has been storing the soldiers who died in that monster attack. Um, and the vice captain is really happy. And so then Kane gets rewarded by the king for, of course, bringing those bodies back for their families, but also rewarded because he, of course, saved the princess. Did his thing. So he gets some money for that. And also, my assumption is he does it because he's like, my daughter seems interested in this young man, and he is clearly a skilled adventurer. You know what? I'm gonna make you a baron. I'm giving you a mansion and a baronhood. And some people are fucking pissed about that because this 10-year-old just became a baron. And there's a guy who sucks. And then, because Kane was in shared sleeping quarters with the princess and the duke and the duke's daughter, we do realize that's why he was made a baron, because they're like, kuma 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 baron, yes. They're like, hey, you spent the night with the princess, so you gotta marry her, because otherwise it's a scandal, dude. Which is like, yeah, that's probably why he shouldn't have, obviously nothing happened, but he should have said, you know what, princess, can't do that. 100% cannot do that. But yeah, so now they're going to be engaged. And Kane agrees to the engagements, and of course that's going to come at a later date, and they're going to, oh yeah, and then everybody takes turns lecturing Kane for the behavior of, he's like, he listened to the princess, he shouldn't have. It obviously makes sense, like, that's why he was made a baron, is so that he can have achievements, so he can be worthy at some point to be engaged to the princess, which of course, because he is an overpowered main character and super strong, he will have many, many accomplishments very soon. You do not have to worry about that. Is this show good? Yeah. Is it great? No. Is it an easy watch? Fuck yeah, it is. It's a very easy watch. I think that it is like a totally watchable show, and I think the vibes in it are good, and it is a fun time. If you were looking for a light isekai, it's not so chill as some of the ones from last season, but it's totally enjoyable, and I think it's totally worth checking out. And now it is manga time. It's Manga Monday, everybody. So I'm going to talk about a manga that I have been reading. I completed it. I don't have much to say about I'm an Alchemist Who Doesn't Know How OP I Am. It's another... no, it's not an overpowered main... Here's the thing. It's not a isekai. And it's also not a banished or a kicked. It's not a banished series. It's not a guy that, like, nobody thought was really popular, or like that was really good because of misunderstandings or whatever, or jealousy, and then like suddenly everyone's just like, oh fuck, this dude is strong and cool, we fucked up. No, this is just like, oh no, did I drop a thing? Okay, no, I didn't. Great. This is just a dude who, through various means, through his master who trained him, this is just a guy who does not understand that he is very strong. This is just a dude that did not realize. And if you don't like that as a premise, this might not work, because there are plenty of people who are work for you, I should say. There are plenty of people who are just gobsmacked and completely surprised and thrown off that this dude is so like talented. He is just like we start with an adventurer who's just like, oh, I also need these ingredients that you need, because I need to make this legendary. I need to pray that someone can make this legendary potion to save my sister. And he's just like, here you go. Well, no, the ingredients, like, you get them. And he's like, no, here's the potion you need. Yeah, I can make that. What's up? And that's the starting point. And we meet a bunch of different characters. I've watched the whole thing, read the whole thing. Bunch of different characters from his past and his present. This is another dude who was a villager from the last town before the Demon Lord Castle premise. Yeah, it's that kind of thing, right? It's the this dude is a guy from, like, in the same way that we had Beast Tamer recently. Beast Tamer is an anime and also a manga of a dude that, like, is from a legendary, like, he's legendarily good at being a beast tamer. Nobody understands that there's a whole village of he was the last remnant of a whole village of incredibly talented beast tamers. This is a little bit similar in that respect, that it's like this dude who is just like a crazy good alchemist, and people are just shocked that exists. And it's also like kind of slow paced and silly in parts. Totally a good read. I think it's on it might be on Manga Up. I can't remember who has it, but somebody has it all, like, in digital form. I can't remember where I read it. And it is a totally readable, enjoyable little series that I had fun with, and I think you might also like. I don't know. I'm not your boss. But yeah, I've liked it. I enjoyed I'm an Alchemist Who Doesn't Know How OP I Am. Also, it's fun to finish a series, because I'm 99% sure that was the end of it, because it felt like that was the end of it when I got to that point. Pretty sure that was it. But it is nice to occasionally wrap up a thing. And if not, I don't know. And I'll see if there's another volume eventually. But I think it was done. And yeah, pretty enjoyable. And that's my Manga Monday update. I don't really have much more to say. God, I'm reading a dumb... I'm going to look up the name of this. I'm not giving a full review here because it's still early. I started recently reading a... what's the name of this thing? Let me see if I can find it. Pretty silly manhwa. Who's putting this out? Let me see if I can find it. Nope. Damn it. This is always the fun part when I don't know if I've written it down. So let me just see if it's in my... Did I put it in my manga list? Yes. Revenge of the Sword Clan's Hound. This one's interesting. Revenge of the Sword Clan's Hound is a regression after death, and now he has, knowledge from his previous life. He's reliving his youth, and he is just stronger than he was before and more talented than he was before, and just making a mockery of that stuff. That's fun because, like, he has a better life than he did before, but even though he's now has, like, the respect of his father, which he never had before, and all this other stuff, he's still like, great, I can't wait to be strong enough to murder my dad. Now, did my dad kill me in this timeline? No, that was the previous had me killed. He's like, yeah, whatever. Also, he knows that the world goes to hell and gets invaded by monsters and demons, and he knows that's coming, and he doesn't tell anyone about it, which like, who would believe him? But also, I think that he's just like, there's some point where he's just like, everybody's so worried about this shit, and it doesn't matter because the demons are going to attack soon. But basically, he was tasked with helping to defeat the demons and monsters, and then when the world was at peace, he had gotten too strong, and then he was killed. And it's just a revenge tale, but also it's like, the House family is named the Baskervilles, and he's the Hound of the Baskervilles. And there's, as far as I can tell, there are no other references to anything like that, to any other story within the world of Sherlock Holmes, except that like everyone is like a different kind of dog. Uh, but yeah, so it's just that they're called the Baskervilles, and it's just so he can be the Hound of the Baskervilles. That was what he was in his previous life. He was one of the Hounds, because that is the distinction. There's like the Rottweilers, and there's all these other dogs, and there's like different dogs for different things. That's just the nomenclature they use. All right, we're done with our stickers here. It's good for this. And it's just so he can be the Hound of the Baskervilles, which is very fucking funny. It's such a silly thing. It's like that one manhwa where there was a minor character named George Lucas. I can't remember what it was, but there was a South Korean comic where one minor character was just named George Lucas, and there were no other Star Wars references beyond the fact that his name was fucking George Lucas. It's just that was his name, and that to me will always be unbelievably silly and funny and terrible, in the best way possible. That they were like, yeah, and his name is George Lucas. Nonsense. Wonderful nonsense. Oh, no, it's got to go like this. All right, so we still have to finish this part, which we will do. Brief circling back to Otaku Elf, because I wasn't here Saturday. If frog tanks aren't a thing, they should be. Yes. Otaku Elf is just a lovely little series. It's chill, but it's a lot more detailed than I thought it would be. Like it's not like, I thought it would be very like hijinks oriented, of like, hey, here's the thing that needs to happen. Here's this elf responding to it. And there's the girl that's supposed to look after her. Oh, she's unhappy because things got wacky. But instead it's just like, hey, what does it mean to be isolated for so many years? And what does it mean to be summoned from another world? And, like, what are your hobbies? Oh, you're an otaku because you like collecting things. And you used to collect things in the Edo period too. And, oh, okay, and we're going to introduce other characters and interact with these things. And like, hey, did you know that food changed since the last time you've been out for food? It's just like, I don't know. There's just something very fun about Otaku Elf that, like, at a level I was not expecting. And also, it's the closest thing we've got this season, in my opinion, to girls doing things, which is a fun subgenre that we have not had much of lately. So if we're getting another girl, if this is the girls doing things one, between that and Too Cute Crisis, we are feasting on fun, light series where weird ladies are dealing with Earth. One is about just being an otaku and kind of exploring the world, and the other, Otaku Elf, not Taco Elf. That's a different thing. I don't think it's a thing. Whereas Too Cute Crisis is like an alien who is learning to love Earth because cats are great and dogs are good. Very different approaches to some similar things. All right, so we're going to finish this kit up on Thursday, which includes finishing the backpack. We don't have much left to do that. And then we have to, of course, put together the guns. Also, just want to point out here, one of the reasons why the Pharact rules is because this is where the beam, for the beam sabers, that's where the hilt lives, is in there, which I think rules. I think that is just cool and compact. But yeah, we got to finish the weapon on there, and then we're going to start the Farce. The Farce. Or Farsi. I'll look up how to say Farsi. I think it's Farsi. This kit. Farsi from, that'll be cool. Hey, thank you for the follow, 300 points. G Witches Girls Doing Things. Most of the things are full of death misery. Yes. I mean, the full title, the full subcategory is cute girls doing cute things. But I just do girls doing things because, like, I don't think riding your motorcycle, your moped, your souped up moped is particularly cute. But I do think that Super Cub is a girls doing things. I don't think it's a cute girls doing cute things. But I do think that Super Cub counts as a girls doing things in that. But yeah, this is the next kit I'll be building. We'll be starting that on Thursday, and then after that, we got another kit, which I won't say what that is yet. But both those kits are going to be modified and customized during the Plastic Model Weekender. But this is going to do it for our stream. Thank you for the follow there, 300 points. Hope you come back on Thursday. Reminder that my next stream is actually tomorrow, but it's not a model kit building stream. That's right. Tomorrow, as we're going to go on a raid here, so I'm going to find someone cool for us to go hang out with. But as I set up this raid, do remind you that tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, playing Power Wash Simulator because there's a new update coming out. So we're going to check out the new update. All right, who's going to, let's see, what is this? Last night we raided Will Smith, and it was just a bird cam, and I didn't realize that we were just looking at a bird. Will is also streaming now with that bird cam. We are not raiding the bird cam 2 nights in a row, but we are going to raid Mary Kish, who rules. Mary Kish is playing Dredge again, so we're going to go check in with Mary Kish on that. We do always end with a raid. Yeah, we still got bird stream over there on Will, and we're not going to raid a bird stream 2 nights in a row, but we're going to raid Mary. But yeah, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Power Wash Simulator. If you donate, there'll be a donate, exclamation point donate in there. And if you do, I will write your name in the dirt using the power washer. I'll put in your initials or your name or whatever. That is not much of an incentive, but it's what I got because I'm at 39% of my goal. Let me check donation bar, 39%, trying to get to higher. We'll take care of that later. Anyway, let's go on a raid. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow or Thursday. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye to you, VOD.